The city of New York has always served as the ultimate backdrop for stories of personal reinvention, public resilience, and the relentless pursuit of individual truth amidst an ever-watchful global audience. In the bustling heart of Manhattan, where the constant noise of the crowded streets routinely threatens to drown out the quiet realities of human lives, a fascinating personal drama has been quietly unfolding over recent weeks, capturing the intense fascination of millions who look to the entertainment world for a reflection of their own struggles, heartbreaks, and triumphs. The very nature of modern celebrity culture has transformed dramatically over the last several years, evolving from a distant, glittering spectacle of unapproachable icons into an intensely intimate, hyper-analyzed ecosystem where the traditional boundary between a public persona and a private existence has been almost entirely obliterated. Every casual gesture, every unscripted walk down a concrete avenue, and every cryptic update shared on a digital network is immediately transformed into a critical piece of a much larger, collective puzzle that the world eagerly attempts to decode in real time. For public figures who have built their entire professional identities and creative careers on the foundation of raw, unvarnished honesty, deep personal vulnerability, and a willingness to share their inner lives with the world, this permanent spotlight can be both a powerful vehicle for genuine human connection and an incredibly heavy burden to bear when the private narrative begins to fracture behind closed doors, leaving fans to wonder where the truth truly lies. In this contemporary landscape of fleeting fame and permanent digital records, the transition from being a singular cultural lightning rod to navigating the complex, deeply grounded, and life-altering responsibilities of parenthood represents one of the most profound shifts an individual can experience. For an artist who has spent over a decade transforming personal pain, severe mental health struggles, and high-profile romantic endeavors into comedic gold, the arrival of a brand new chapter in life brings with it an entirely new set of expectations, pressures, and silent battles. The global audience has watched this particular individual grow and mature from a young, notoriously chaotic late-night talent into a deeply self-aware, yet perennially scrutinized figure who has frequently found himself at the absolute center of the cultural conversation for reasons that extend far beyond his undeniable professional wit. Yet, behind the headline-grabbing romances that have long populated the tabloids and the high-energy collaborative projects that continue to define his artistic legacy, there lies a quieter, much more significant narrative about personal legacy, moral duty, and the quiet, often unseen efforts to protect a young, innocent life from the swirling vortex of media speculation and public judgment. It is within this incredibly delicate balance between public expectation and private duty that our current story begins to take its definitive shape, focusing heavily on a figure who has recently been spotted navigating the quiet, tree-lined paths of a New York City park, appearing far removed from the raucous laughter of live studio audiences. To fully comprehend the immense weight of this unfolding moment and the tension that surrounds it, one must carefully examine the powerful, often manipulative role that modern social media platforms play in shaping, altering, and sometimes completely distorting the realities of personal relationships and contemporary family dynamics. Today, platforms such as TikTok and Instagram do not merely serve as harmless digital archives for happy family memories. Instead, they function as active, real-time narrative engines where individuals can deliberately construct specific viewpoints, share deep personal vulnerabilities, and subtly influence the court of public opinion with the simple tap of a smartphone screen. When a highly publicized relationship between two prominent figures comes to an emotional end, the digital landscape frequently transforms into a crowded virtual courtroom where the general public is invited to act as judge and jury, enthusiastically taking sides based entirely on fragmented video clips, late-night text overlays, and carefully curated glimpses into the exhausting daily grind of solo parenting. This modern dynamic creates an environment of intense polarization across the internet, where one individual's public expression of profound exhaustion and solitary struggle can instantly spark a massive wave of collective empathy. As we continue to unravel the intricate, highly sensitive layers of this modern familial mystery and explore the striking disconnect between outward digital narratives and behind-the-scenes realities, we invite you to subscribe to this channel right now, ensuring that you always remain fully connected to the stories that shape our understanding of the modern world. The gathering storm surrounding this particular family dynamic began to intensify significantly when a series of poignant digital dispatches caught the attention of millions of followers. presenting a raw, deeply moving portrait of a young mother navigating the exhausting, round-the-clock demands of a newborn child entirely on her own terms. The emotional weight of these frequent social media updates was immediately palpable to all who watched, featuring candid discussions of severe sleep deprivation, midnight diaper changes in the quiet isolation of the night, and the relentless pressure of balancing professional career obligations with the monumental singular task of raising an infant without a consistent partner present in the household. For the global audience watching these intimate videos unfold day after day, the overarching narrative seemed remarkably clear-cut, painting a vivid picture of a solitary journey filled with emotional hardship and a distinct lack of maternal support from the father involved. However, the complex world of modern celebrity is rarely as straightforward as a short, highly edited video clip suggests, and beneath the glossy surface of these public declarations lay a parallel, hidden narrative of immense financial commitment, quiet dedication, and a profound desire to ensure the absolute safety and comfort of both mother and child. A quiet Monday afternoon walk through a peaceful New York park, captured surreptitiously by an observant onlooker, would soon completely challenge this dominant public narrative, revealing a father fully engaged in the quiet, unglamorous duties of parenthood, dressed casually and hidden behind dark sunglasses as he carefully pushed a stroller through the lush city greenery. The quiet, almost ordinary image of a father strolling through a New York City park under the soft afternoon sun would normally pass entirely without a second thought in a bustling metropolis populated by millions of shifting lives. Yet this specific moment carried an immense, undeniable weight, serving as the definitive spark that ignited a fierce public debate regarding parental responsibility, personal truth, and the starkly widening divide between digital performance and private reality. The individual at the absolute center of this unfolding situation was none other than 32-year-old comedian Pete Davidson, a figure whose personal life has been meticulously documented, analyzed, and critiqued by the international media for over a decade, yet who now found himself captured in a profoundly different, deeply grounding role than the ones that typically define his public persona. Dressed in an understated casual sweatshirt paired with simple white pants and carefully concealing his expression behind dark sunglasses, Davidson appeared completely focused on a singular, quiet task, pushing his infant daughter, Scotty, in a stroller during a solitary walk through the city greenery, completely detached from the chaotic energy of the entertainment industry. This fleeting image, captured by an observant onlooker and subsequently shared by the popular celebrity chronicle de Moi, instantly sent shockwaves through the online entertainment community because it stood in direct, undeniable contradiction to a rapidly building public narrative that had cast him as an absent, detached, or unsupportive figure in his young child's life. For weeks, the public had been consuming a vastly different story, one filled with heavy implications of abandonment and maternal isolation, making this sudden, quiet demonstration of hands-on fatherhood a pivotal turning point in an escalating domestic drama that has captivated onlookers worldwide. The tension inherent in this moment does not merely stem from a simple disagreement between two former partners, but rather from the profound, unsettling clash between a highly visible public accusation of neglect and a quiet, physical reality that tells an entirely different story of active parental involvement and silent devotion. To fully comprehend the brewing storm that this peaceful park sighting directly challenged, one must carefully examine the specific and highly charged digital breadcrumbs dropped by his former partner, 30-year-old model Elsie Hewitt, whose recent social media activity had effectively set the stage for a massive wave of public sympathy and subsequent internet scrutiny toward Davidson. Following their emotional separation just last month, a mere few months after welcoming little Scotty into the world in December 2025, Hewitt turned to the widely influential platform TikTok to document what she explicitly and repeatedly framed as a solitary, exhausting parenting journey undertaken entirely without assistance. Through a series of highly relatable, yet deeply pointed videos, she began offering her vast following an intimate, raw look into the grueling daily routines of a single mother, speaking candidly about severe sleep deprivation, the physical exhaustion of midnight diaper changes in the dead of night, and the meticulous, time-consuming process of preparing homemade purees for their daughter. The narrative reached a critical peak of intensity when Hewitt shared on her Instagram stories that she was actively searching for a personal assistant or a nanny to help manage her overwhelming daily responsibilities. a declaration that was swiftly followed by another video where she directly told her followers that she had a baby to take care of, that she was forced to work and make money, and explicitly stated that she was doing it entirely on her own, describing the experience as incredibly hard. These carefully broadcasted moments of vulnerability resonated deeply with her audience, creating a powerful, singular impression across the internet that she had been left entirely to her own devices to navigate the immense financial, emotional, and physical burdens of raising a newborn child without any meaningful support from the famous father, effectively painting Davidson as negligent in the court of public opinion. However, the narrative constructed through these emotional video updates began to fracture almost immediately as individuals close to the former couple stepped forward to reveal a dramatically different, far more complex reality operating behind the closed doors of their private lives. According to reliable sources intimately familiar with the true nature of their situation, the image of a completely abandoned, financially strapped mother struggling entirely on her own is a profound distortion of the actual arrangement established by the Saturday Night Live alumnus. These insiders have revealed that despite the emotional breakdown of their romantic relationship, Davidson has been demonstrably and completely committed to ensuring the comprehensive financial security and physical well-being of both his ex-partner and their infant daughter. Far from being uninvolved or financially neglectful, the comedian has reportedly been paying for literally everything required to maintain their standard of living, completely covering the costly rent for their residence, all substantial monthly living expenses, and their comprehensive health insurance policies to ensure they lack for nothing. Sources close to the comedian expressed utter and profound confusion regarding why Hewitt would choose to post content that so heavily insinuates a total lack of paternal support, noting that Davidson's primary and unwavering priority throughout this entire difficult transition has been to ensure that Elsie is truly happy, stable, and placed in a thoroughly secure environment. This massive, glaring disconnect between the public allegations of a solitary, unassisted struggle and the private reality of complete financial underwriting has injected an intense layer of interpersonal tension into the situation, leaving friends and observers wondering about the true motivations behind such a starkly polarized public portrayal of a shared parental responsibility as the public attempts to reconcile these completely conflicting accounts. The emotional stakes have risen significantly, drawing widespread attention to the broader personal battles and the powerful network of community support surrounding Davidson during this tumultuous period of his life. It is no secret to the public that the comedian has long navigated severe, deeply personal struggles with mental health issues, challenges that he has always addressed with an admirable degree of transparency and courage in his stand-up comedy and artistic work. Facing a highly publicized relationship breakdown, while simultaneously managing these ongoing internal battles and adjusting to the profound, life-altering responsibilities of new fatherhood represents an extraordinarily volatile mix of life stressors for any individual. Yet, amidst the unfolding controversy and the sting of public mischaracterization, those within his inner circle report that Davidson is not only holding up remarkably well but is surrounded by an immense, protective wall of solidarity from his closest peers in the entertainment industry. This deep reservoir of support was particularly evident during the high-profile Kevin Hart roast, an event where fellow comedians and longtime friends rallied around him with overwhelming warmth, reassurance, and camaraderie, ensuring he felt valued during a time of intense personal trial. While personal disagreements and a fundamental breakdown in communication have undeniably severed the romantic bond between Davidson and Hewitt, those who know him best emphasize that his devotion to being an active, loving, and reliable father remains absolutely unshakable. Meanwhile, Hewitt continues to maintain her own highly visible public presence, recently sharing photos of herself looking radiant, healthy, and stylish in a bright red dress while relaxing at a park, drawing adoring comments from fans who praise her appearance and resilience, further highlighting the bizarre, deeply fragmented nature of a modern celebrity breakup played out on the global stage. The profound intersection of intense public scrutiny and deeply private accountability raised by this modern domestic saga extends far beyond the immediate boundaries of a typical celebrity romance, offering a powerful, deeply reflective commentary on the changing societal expectations of fatherhood, financial accountability, and emotional maturity in the contemporary era. Pete Davidson's life journey has been anything but conventional, marked by a highly visible evolution from a raw, intensely vulnerable 20-year-old newcomer on late-night national television into a globally recognized cultural icon who has frequently used his deepest personal pains, tragic childhood losses, and severe mental health struggles as the essential raw material for his unique artistic expression. Over the course of his extensive career, the international audience has witnessed him navigate profound personal grief, highly publicized romantic relationships with some of the most famous women in the world, and an ongoing, fiercely honest battle with borderline personality disorder and severe clinical depression. Yet the birth of his daughter Scotty in late 2025 marked a definitive, undeniable turning point in his life's trajectory, signaling a profound transition from a self-described chaotic individual into a mature adult anchored by the monumental, unyielding responsibilities of protecting and providing for a brand new generation. This sudden transition into fatherhood fundamentally changes the entire lens through which the global public views his personal vulnerabilities. It is no longer merely about an individual artist surviving his own internal emotional storms, but about a dedicated father actively working behind the scenes to insulate his child from the turbulent, often toxic environment of relentless public judgment that has defined his own adult life. To fully appreciate the complex interpersonal dynamics at play within this narrative, one must also carefully examine the unique life journey of Elsie Hewitt, a 30-year-old model and prominent digital creator whose own career and public identity have been intricately bound up with the visual language of modern social media platforms, where aesthetic perfection, personal vulnerability, and strategic narrative control are paramount. Entering the highly competitive fashion and modeling industry at a young age, Hewitt successfully built a substantial international following based on her striking visual presence, distinct personal style, and an innate ability to project an effortless, vibrant lifestyle that resonated deeply with a generation of young internet users navigating their own identities online. The profound, life-altering experience of becoming a mother for the first time in December 2025 inherently transformed her public platform, shifting her digital content from glamorous, highly curated industry showcases into a much more intimate, raw, and ongoing chronicle of the intense physical and emotional challenges that define the postpartum experience. When a high-profile romantic partnership dissolves so quickly after the arrival of a newborn child, the immediate human instinct to share the grueling, solitary realities of daily infant care, such as the constant exhaustion of sleepless nights, midnight diaper changes, and the meticulous preparation of homemade purees, can stem from a deeply rooted need for communal validation, emotional connection, and a simple desire to be seen and supported in one's most difficult moments of vulnerability. However, when these public expressions of profound maternal hardship are broadcast to millions of followers without any mention of the comprehensive financial security, total rent coverage, and extensive health insurance being completely provided behind the scenes by the child's father, it creates a deeply fragmented public record that automatically casts the other parent in a negative light, illustrating how easily the line between genuine emotional expression and strategic narrative framing can become completely blurred. Amidst this swirling vortex of relentless public speculation, media sensationalism, and deeply conflicting personal accounts, the role of Davidson's extensive, deeply loyal support network within the professional entertainment community emerges as a crucial pillar of stability and psychological strength, illuminating the profound importance of genuine human connection in an industry that is often criticized for its superficiality and fleeting loyalties. The comedy world has historically functioned as a tightly knit, fiercely protective brotherhood, a unique creative subculture where individuals who have experienced profound personal trauma, intense public scrutiny, and deep emotional battles find a shared language of resilience, dark humor, and unconditional mutual understanding. This protective embrace was vividly on display during recent high-profile industry events, most notably the star-studded Kevin Hart roast, where Davidson was visibly surrounded by longtime peers, comedic mentors, and close creative collaborators who have walked alongside him through the many tumultuous peaks and valleys of his high-profile career. This powerful public demonstration of solidarity from his industry friends provides a vital emotional buffer against the sharp sting of public mischaracterization, offering him a safe, grounded space to process the emotional fallout of his recent romantic breakup and maintain his focus on his mental well-being during an exceptionally volatile chapter of his adult life. For an individual who has spent his entire adult existence navigating the intense, unforgiving pressures of the global spotlight while simultaneously managing complex psychological health challenges, the unconditional backing of trusted friends who understand the true reality of his character and his deep commitment to fatherhood serves as an invaluable lifeline, ensuring that he remains mentally resilient and fully capable of fulfilling his profound duties as an active, deeply loving father ultimately. As the digital noise begins to settle and the public eye inevitably moves on to the next fleeting internet sensation, the enduring heart of this story remains centered on the quiet, unwritten future of an innocent little girl named Scotty, whose upbringing will inevitably be shaped by the long-term choices, personal boundaries, and mutual respect established by her two deeply scrutinized parents. The modern reality of co-parenting under the permanent, unyielding glare of the global media spotlight requires an extraordinary degree of emotional maturity, a willingness to completely submerge personal grievances for the greater good of the child, and a mutual agreement to protect the sanctity of the family unit from the distorting lens of public consumption. Davidson's quiet, hands-on presence in the New York City park, completely divorced from the performative, transactional nature of social media, serves as a powerful unspoken testament to his unwavering commitment to being a constant, reliable force in his daughter's life, proving that true parental devotion is ultimately measured not by the loudness of one's digital declarations or public videos, but by the quiet, consistent actions of showing up, providing complete financial and emotional security, and simply holding the stroller on a peaceful afternoon walk. As both Pete Davidson and Elsie Hewitt continue to navigate their separate personal and professional journeys in the years ahead, the true resolution of this emotional chapter will not be found in the comment sections of Instagram or the trending videos of TikTok, but in the private, carefully protected spaces where a father and a mother choose to prioritize the emotional well-being and stability of their daughter above all else, reminding us that behind every glittering celebrity headline lies a real human family striving to find peace, balance, and truth amidst a watchful world.